we all have insecurities, right? That's normal. Like whether you're a boy or a girl, you have those insecurities, and sometimes when I look at photos, I go straight into my insecurity that's showing. Like, oh, I didn't like that angle, or oh, I don't like that. And you need to take a step back and be like, this is a beautiful photo. Who cares if my arm flab is hanging? Like, who cares, right? Like, stop nitpicking every little thing of yourself and look at the photo for the beauty that it is and the moment that it is, rather than tearing yourself down, which we all do.
Thank you so much for coming here. This is like, we're really excited to have you because the whole point of today is to really debunk some of like the feelings and thoughts that the photographers have and that models have. So for those who don't know, my name is Tyler Rickenbach and I'm a photographer here in Idaho Falls. And with us today we have Brindley.
Hi, I'm Brindley Hobbs, a recent bride and model.
To get started, when you are taking pictures, let's just go back to when you first got married. Like, what are some of the things that like are running through your head as you're working with a photographer on like your wedding day?
There's a lot going through your mind. Obviously, you just got married, people are watching you, depending on where or what time you're getting married. It could be hot outside, the sun's beating down on your face, you've got sweat, you're in a tight dress. There's just a lot going on and you're trying to enjoy it, but of course look your best. And you want these photos to look good. It can be overwhelming. So there is a lot going on in your mind, but especially you want to look good as the bride, right? And a lot of people feel awkward in front of cameras and look back at the photos and don't like them, or don't like the way that their hair looked or they looked in the dress, and they just don't love the photos. And you want to love your day, you want to love the photos and the memories. So I know that it can be stressful, but it can be super easy to enjoy these photos if you know what to do and you know the right angles, way to pose, and the way to work with the photographer, and if the photographer works with you. So it's important to have that communication.
Yeah. And it sounds like one of the first things that like that's running through your head is like, I don't want to feel awkward. So how do you not feel awkward?
That is a hard question because it's normal to feel insecure and awkward, especially in front of a camera for a lot of people. You are being watched by the photographer who you might not know very well, and every little thing that you're doing, every blink and moment, and like where you're posing is being caught on camera. So it's hard not to look awkward, but mainly, like, we always say this and you hear this everywhere, but confidence is key. Yeah. Like, pretend to be confident, act as if you know what you're doing, but honestly, that is the case, right? Like, because the camera only captures the outside. Yes. It doesn't capture what's going on in your head, right? So just fake it till you make it, and just have fun with it.
So what would you say if someone says, because we hear this a lot, I'm just not photogenic? Like, how do you respond to that as like someone in your shoes?
First off, get that idea out of your mind, because as soon as you tell yourself, I'm not photogenic, your body is going to start to represent that, right? Having a positive mindset and attitude throughout the day, throughout the photo shoot, is so important. You are photogenic and you're beautiful. And that's important, number one, to keep in your mind, and to also know yourself and to know your angles. So I think it's important to, before the photo shoot, practice some angles, look at yourself in the mirror, figure out which side you feel is the best, your best side. We all have a quote unquote best side, which is silly, but we all have some, like, a side or a position that we like, or way to place our hands, stuff like that. So just practicing poses, whether that's with your groom or just as the bride individually, just kind of like having practices beforehand to be like, wait, I know I look good in this pose, and I know I don't feel like self-conscious in that. Because sometimes photographers will put us in poses or positions that we're like, oh, this is weird to have my hand up here, and then your face shows it. Right. So feeling comfortable in the pose that you're in is important. So.
And I would say, like, on my side of that, if I'm the photographer, the creative, one of the things that I'm looking for is if you do feel uncomfortable, and like, I think it's important to have a conversation at the beginning and just being able to communicate back and forth, right? Because this is really much a relationship, and really the images that you create is determined by the connectivity, or so to speak, of between you and the subject that you're photographing. So like if you guys don't have chemistry, it's going to feel really awkward. And something that like I'm looking for is, does the person that I'm photographing, does he or she look uncomfortable? Does he or she feel off? And if you're in that situation, the question is like, how do you fix it? Because you can tell right away, especially when the body like tenses up or they're like slouched over. Like you can see in the body language if someone is comfortable or not in front of camera. And like the last thing that you want to do is to put someone in a situation where they don't feel comfortable, because it ultimately leads to like frustration.
Absolutely. I think there's two sides of the spectrum. When I am modeling for someone, I'm working for them. So I'm like, what do you want? Am I modeling clothes? Am I modeling a dress? Like, that's different compared to your wedding day. So if I'm modeling for someone, I'm like, okay, this pose is weird, but I've just got to fake it till I make it, right? Because I'm doing this for someone else. But your wedding day is about no one but you. It is about you. It is about the groom, whatever, the groom's just a side piece. It's mainly about the bride, right? Yeah. And on your wedding day, you do not need to be, you are not modeling a dress. You are modeling yourself. You are modeling the fact that you are getting married, the best day of your life, or at least it should be. So in the sense of your wedding day, you need to talk with your photographer and be like, okay, like point out your insecurities, like I don't love my arms, right? I don't love this side of my body, and tell that photographer what you want, what your expectations are, because they're working for you, right? In that sense, they are taking photos of your day. So telling them, like, if you were my photographer on my wedding day, I'd say, hey, I don't love the back, like my back or my belly or my arm flaps or something. And I would just say, can you try not to capture that, right? That wedding day is about you. And say you don't know what to do and you're like, oh, okay, well, what do I do now? And the photographer gives you an idea. Yeah. You can let them know, I don't like that. Because oftentimes we're just like, oh yeah, I'll do that for you. But it's okay on your wedding day. Like if you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that.
It does feel uncomfortable to say that this is not working. Yes. It's super awkward, right?
Yes, because you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. No, you don't. Yes.
And like how I would approach it we can kind of go back and forth on this, but if you and I were working together and I would just say, we call this like labeling the emotion, right? Like, hey, Brindley, it looks like this is not comfortable. Like you are not comfortable doing this. How about we just take 5? Like, yeah. And I think just like labeling the emotion, because it kind of like de-escalates like the situation that you're in. And I would just encourage someone, whoever's feeling like this, to just say like, it's okay to step back and be like, because we don't know everything. And sometimes it takes a little bit to get into like the rhythm of things.
Yes, absolutely. I think that taking a little break, getting some water, just being like, okay, like taking a step away from the camera and taking a breath, that can definitely help. And it is important as the photographer to be like, hey, I know you don't feel comfortable, right? Because as like a model or a bride, I never want to tell my photographer, I hate that pose you put me in, or, yeah. And yeah, just exactly. As people, we don't want to hurt people's feelings, but no one's feelings should be hurt, no. Right? And so I think it's important just to be like, okay, it's not that big of a deal. These are just photos.
Yeah, and I think with that is, you as a photographer, you have to be confident in like yes. what you are doing, because I feel like the confidence that you display is passed on to the person that you're working with. Absolutely. And if I'm not confident, if I'm not on, you can read that, you can sense it, and you mirror what I'm showing you. One of the things that I try to do is just be very complimentative to like what you're doing, and providing just good feedback. Yeah. Right? Because we're really like the two of us, we're trying to make the best images possible.
I think it ultimately comes down to stop taking everything so personally.
And I would say with that, if someone is new to doing this, it's stepping into the role of a photographer and directing someone, it can feel very uncomfortable and awkward. And so what I would tell someone is, it's more important to have courage than confidence in that moment. Yes. Because confidence comes from doing something over and over again. And if you don't have like those repetitions, you're not going to be as confident, so to speak. But just have courage. Like, this is your time to just, be yourself. And I feel like even if you can't do anything else but yourself, then that will at least like the energy will transfer to the person that you're working with. And I would, along with that, say, try to capture the in-between moments, because I feel like when we try and force poses, it's sometimes, it feels unnatural, right? And so like you tell them to do a pose, but then I feel like it's the moments that happen between poses, like those are the best images.
The quote unquote candid photos. Those are very popular nowadays. And it's true, like the little awkward moments where you're like, oh, wait, like they're moving and they're doing something silly, but you take that photo and it captures the moment. And that's what those photos should be about, especially on your wedding day. Like you want those funny little awkward moments. Like there's a photo on my wedding day where I am like devouring a piece of cake. And it's so funny because I'm like, I look ridiculous, but I love the photo because it's me. Right?
Yeah.
And yeah, as the photographer, like my photographer, like I didn't even know she was filming it. I didn't even know she was there.
Yeah.
And she took the photo and I look back and I'm like, I love this photo because it is the moment. And your wedding day, not all the photos should look great because like it's okay. Like life is messy and like the photos are there to capture those funny moments. So yeah, as the photographer, just capture those funny, silly moments of that person. And on your wedding day, you want to look back and be like, yeah, that was me. Like I was doing this thing with my hand because that's what I do. Yeah. And you just being yourself, that's when you're confident. That's when you're normal. And the photographer can catch that. So yeah, being confident in like who you are. But also I love how you brought courage into it because it ultimately is. As a photographer, you have to have courage in yourself that's like, okay, we're just doing it, right? Because every model or person is different and every photographer is different too. And you just got to take that step where confidence comes with repetition. Yeah, like kind of practice makes perfect. But if this is your first photo shoot or your first wedding, you're gonna get more confident as you do it. So yeah, just taking that step of courage, that's like, you know what, let's do this.
And with that, I started reading this book called Relentless. It's by Tim S. Grover. And he was the personal trainer for like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant for the longest time. He talks about how when we are raised, we're born bad, but we're taught to be good. We tell ourselves from like the very beginning of like, this is good, this is bad. And so that's like his point. And with the title of the book called Relentless, he's saying we were born relentless, but we're taught to relent. And I thought that was so interesting because the best images come from just being yourself. If you can't do anything else, be yourself, because that goes for the photographer, that goes for you as the model. You shouldn't feel embarrassed for being who you are. And I feel like that's when people are drawn to that more than ever, especially with AI. Authenticity and like genuine moments are what people want more than staged ones.
People are scared of AI taking over the world, which maybe it will, but AI can never replace human connection.
No.
And yeah, that connection that you have with the camera and with that moment. And as like a model, I feel like, oh, I have to be this. I have to be this size. My hair has to look like this. Like, no. Like, you don't have to look or be a certain way. You need to just be yourself, and the camera can tell that. So if I'm pretending to be someone else and it feels uncomfortable, it will show on camera. We've kind of gone back and forth between being authentic to yourself and doing things that you're comfortable with, but also being courageous and trying new poses and things that you wouldn't think that you'd like, but you end up liking it. So there's that sense of like, try something new and just kind of go for it, be confident with it, but also like know your boundaries, know your limitations, know where you feel too uncomfortable with. You should have fun. You should have fun as a photographer. Yes, this is your job and you're getting paid and you take this very seriously, but you should also enjoy the photo shoot, right? Some of my most favorite photo shoots, whether I'm modeling or it's just a personal photo shoot I'm doing, is where I'm having fun. And you can totally capture that, especially when it's on a wedding day with the bride and the groom. The bride and the groom should be enjoying their day together, yeah? You should be capturing their love. They shouldn't be trying to capture a photo. And so I love when you can tell in a photo where the bride and the groom are just, it's here. Like, they're here, the connection is there, and the photographer is capturing that love in that moment. It should be a good experience for everyone involved.
And I would say, don't do it for the gram.
Yes.
That is like, oh my gosh, I hate that phrase, because who cares if no one sees it?
You do not have to post all your wedding, like I'm guilty. Most of my feed is my wedding photos because I am obsessed with how they turned out and it was like the best day of my life. But also there's a lot of photos I didn't post because I'm like, no one would get this besides my husband and I. We're doing like funny poses or like funny like handshakes that only him and I get. Yeah. And these moments are for you. And like that day is for you. And so it's okay if the photo, like I said, that photo of me devouring the cake, I haven't posted it, and I would. It's not like I'm embarrassed by it, but I'm just like, that is a memory just for me. We all have insecurities, right? That's normal. Like whether you're a boy or a girl, you have those insecurities. And sometimes when I look at photos, I go straight into my insecurity that's showing. Like, oh, I didn't like that ankle, or oh, I don't like that. And you need to take a step back and be like, this is a beautiful photo. Who cares if my arm flab is hanging? Like, who cares, right? Like, stop nitpicking every little thing of yourself and look at the photo for the beauty that it is and the moment that it is, rather than tearing yourself down, which we all do, especially as females. I mean, I'm in a female mind. I don't know how your mind works, but when I look at a photo, like a group photo of a bunch of girls, I'll zoom in on myself and be like, oh, well, I didn't look very good in this photo, or I didn't. And like, no, I should look at the photo and be like, look how happy we are. Look how genuinely happy, like, and my smile, like, that's a real smile. That's this, that, like, just be kind to yourself, right? And don't, like, you shouldn't hate a photo because it wasn't your good side, or because your insecurity was showing, or all these silly things that we have in our mind.
And I don't think social media helps with that, because everyone posts like their A side, right? Their best side. And
The highlights.
exactly, the highlight reels. And one thing that I try to do is, after I've gone through like the best images, I'll go through again and just see if there's any like the B sides. And I won't delete them, because I think those are sometimes even my better images, where it's like maybe it's a little out of focus, or maybe it's a little blurry. Life is messy and it's not perfect. And I feel like the more that we can like share those moments, the more it's going to relate to people. And really, it's a connection with people.
Like we said, the candid photos, those are the real photos, and that captures the person, because like a photo and a video should be capturing that person, not capturing the perfect photo that you end up going and adding a filter to and changing your face and all these things. Like, no, like, this is you, and you shouldn't be trying to look a certain way or act a certain way for the gram, right? Because that's not what it's for. And so
thank you so much, Brindley. This was, I feel like, really beneficial for me, hopefully for you as well. But I really just, like, end of the day, we want you to be confident in yourself with who you are. If you don't have confidence, have courage, and go out and create the best images that you can by being yourself.
I love that. Ultimately, be yourself. The photos will show. When you are being yourself, that confidence comes with it, because you are confident in yourself, and the photos should be funny and quirky and be you.